Well, welcome back to Real Take Real Estate. We got a fantastic episode today lined up, and it's a little different. Usually my incredible co-host, Maddie, who's here with us today, Maddie Maloney, is here driving the conversation, dropping deep real estate knowledge and fielding your toughest questions. But today, the tables are turning. I've actually switched seats even, so I'm pretty excited.
I don't like being over here on this side.
I'm excited about this.
Say that?
Today we get to put Maddie in the hot seat. We're going to go behind the scenes to celebrate the phenomenal career she's built as a mortgage banking professional. 5 years now, right, Maddie?
Almost 6 in August now, which is crazy.
When we say Maddie is talented and up and coming, we mean it. Just in the past 5 years, she's achieved some truly remarkable milestones. She's helped over 300 families achieve their home ownership goals. She's supported customers across 15 different states. That's even hard to believe when I see it on paper. Mm-hmm. And she's helped dozens of families creatively tap into their home equity for big goals like renovation and debt consolidation. More than just numbers, Maddie's passion is rooted in helping people. She strengthens her commitment to you, the listener, every single day. She's not just our host. She's a driving force on our high-producing team, and she's the heart behind Real Take Real Estate. So let's stop talking about her, and let's start talking to her. Maddie, thank you for being the guest on our show today.
It is very weird being on the other side of the table over here. It's one thing being the host, but it's another thing being asked the questions. And when Joe first brought this up, it was more of a surprise. And I was like, I don't even know if I want to be on the other side of the table right now. I really love being in control, but this is great. I'm very excited to be here today.
So we'll get started. Maddie, you're the seasoned host of Real Take Real Estate, but let's go back to the beginning. What was the moment for you? What initially drew you into the world of mortgage banking and real estate? And I say drew you in because that's what usually happens in real estate.
Yes, that is what usually happens. So I feel like most people in the mortgage banking industry, but maybe more of the people that I've talked to, didn't always start out, wanting to be a mortgage banker, wanting to be in real estate. That was definitely the case for me. What drew me to Dart Bank was being unemployed. I did not have a job after graduation, but I had great connections. I knew Tim Samber, Joe's brother, and who, recommended that I get a job at the bank. And so I started off as a loan transaction coordinator. And so what LTC does is that they really help out with the upfront part of the process, getting the loan in process. And so when I was in that position, I got to learn a lot about the loan process. I got to see a lot of the different loan transactions come across. And that's when, the gears started turning, when I was saying, oh my gosh, there's people my age out there going out and buying homes, and you don't need 20% down. And then I was going through the trainings that Dart Bank puts on for all the employees, talking about credit, talking about all the different loan programs. And in my head, I'm thinking, why is this not common knowledge? Why was I not taught this before? This is phenomenal. Now I'm thinking, maybe I can own a home soon. And that's something that never would have crossed my mind before, unless I was actually seeing these transactions, seeing everything come through. And so I started off as an LTC. I kind of moved around during my first couple months at the bank. I started during COVID 2020, which was also the refi boom. So it was a very interesting time to get into the mortgage world. But I think that being able to see so many different sides of a loan transaction, because one thing that some people may not know is when you go through the process of buying a home, of course you talk with your lender and maybe you'll talk with the processor, but there's so many people behind the scenes being able to put this into process. And so it was so great to be able to learn all those different areas. But what really drew me in and why I now have a passion for home ownership is because I would not have bought my first home unless I was working at Dart Bank on the Joseph team and having all the knowledge that I have now and going through all the trainings and helping other people and learning that it is possible. And I just want to be able to get that knowledge out to everyone else to be able to have the same opportunity.
And how you came on our team is an interesting story because me seeing attending some management meetings, I could see what was happening. You were about to be promoted, actually.
I was promoted for all of 48 hours.
And then she got a call from Joe Joseph, my partner, and I, and we said, you know what? As much as you deserve that promotion, we really want you to be on our team. And I've learned in business that when you see someone really special and you see someone very talented, you do anything you can to get them in your business and bring them along with you. So we were so excited when she agreed to do that.
It was probably one of the best decisions that I did make. And I'm so thankful for that.
And we are every day. You mentioned that you do have a passion for real estate, and this has strengthened your commitment to help others achieve their homeownership goals. You talk about this all the time. I hear you talking about this all the time. Can you share a story or moment where you realized this was just more than just numbers or paperwork?
So when I think about that, I think of a lot of the times that I'm talking with first-time homebuyers. First-time homebuyers come to us with a lot of anxiety, like I had when I was going through the process, but they come with a lot of anxiety, not sure what they would be able to afford, if this is the right step. And I love being able to just walk people through and take that anxiety away and show them that we can set them up for homeownership success. But when I think about just like one story that I always think back to of why I love my job, it's really when we go that extra step. Sometimes what people don't realize is that we're always looking out to see what other programs someone may qualify for, even if that's not something that they had come to us asking about, but we're always going to look to see, all right, what else can we do to help set you up for success? And so recently we just had this where we had a first-time homebuyer come to us, and they were already under contract. They were getting a property for around $100,000, and they had the down payment. And walking through with them, they were so excited for this to be able to get into their first own place. But then during the process, we had a down payment assistance grant come out that they didn't even know about. And so we went through on the back end trying to see if they would qualify, which they did. And so at the end, not only did this house also appraise over asking, so they had an additional $6,000 in equity from the appraisal going over, but we were also able to get them $20,000 in down payment assistance that did not have to be paid back, that automatically increased their equity in the home. It lowered their monthly payment by about 10%, $100 on almost a $900 typical mortgage payment. And just hearing the excitement and the relief and the gratitude from this borrower, like thinking of those moments, I get choked up because I'm so excited for them. And I'm like, you are about to be in such a great position. You're already going into this purchase with $25,000 of equity in this home. You now have a great lower payment. And just hearing the excitement from them and how thankful they are on something that, it was extra effort on our end because we're always looking out for that. And we had to go through some more steps. But being able to get to the closing table and offer something more than what people expect, that is just, it's just a great feeling. Yeah. I love being able to help someone and put them in the best position possible, no matter what it takes or any of the other programs that we look at.
And that's one of the things that I admire about you is that's like a high integrity moment, because there's these things that, whether it's that big grant or just doing the right thing for the customer, even if you have to make a last minute adjustment like we did yesterday on a file, doing it the right way. And I think, I've learned that from, Joe when we work together, but and the bank supports us in making sure we stop. That caused a lot of effort for the realtors, for this grant, the title company, the underwriter. Mm-hmm. We had to let everyone know, and there's probably some initial frustration from some other people, but it was the right thing to do for that person. And
absolutely.
And I really value that, you take the time to do that. You're a talented upcoming professional on a high producing team. What's one key piece of advice or, one discipline you learned early on from your team that you credit with your rapid success?
So I feel like you kind of just touched on that, but it's always being upfront and honest. I always want to be fully transparent whenever we're working with someone, telling them all the options, telling them the good and the bad that comes with it, but wanting to be there as a resource. Even if you're going to be going and shopping around with lenders, I want you to come to me to ask me, all right, who should I go with? Help me analyze this. I want to put you in the best position. And maybe sometimes that's not going to be with us, but I know that me being fully honest and transparent and helping you achieve what is going to be the best option, maybe it's not going with us in that moment, but I know that that is going to help our success down the line, because those people then will be like, all right, well, I didn't go with you, but I'm absolutely going to refer my friends and family because you were so great to work with. You really helped me understand these loan programs and you really helped me choose the best option. And I think that that's not something that we really have in our industry, but the willingness and need to help and be fully transparent is something that I think is one of the highest values of our team and why I love our team, because we really just want overall what is best for you and making sure we're setting you up for success and not just dealing with it as a transaction and not just for the next sale or the next commission, but really making sure that we have customers for life, that you want to come back to us. You want to refer your friends and your family to us because you know that we are always going to do our best to look at all the options. We're going to be honest, we're going to be upfront, and we're going to put you in the best position that we can.
Well, also, while we're on this topic, being in a high producing team, the demands of real estate in general it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, list, and you can't cross off everything off your list of the day. Do you have anything else for you, like young professionals, going in this world where your phone's with you all the time, the emails are coming all the time, the texts are coming all the time? Like, do you have anything like you've done, to give you that life balance, if there is one,
work-life balance is not actually a thing. It's how can you integrate your work into your lifestyle to make it work. And it did take me some time, because at first I was a very task-oriented person where I like to have my list and I like to have everything crossed off at the end of the day. Well, in the mortgage industry, there are so many things that can pop up and just completely derail the plan that you had for the day. And it's just learning and understanding and adapting that, all right, that's okay, but what is going to be the priority? Write down those top priorities, those top things that you need to get done, and, understanding what can wait, and that, what may seem like an emergency to someone else may not actually be an emergency. It's definitely something that I am still learning how to do. I think that you have definitely been a great coach and helping me out and helping me to handle all the chaos that can come with the mortgage industry. But it's really just, making sure that you have a great team. That's one thing that I'm so grateful for, is our support and our team that we have, and being able to rely on others, knowing when to ask for help, knowing when maybe you're a little bit in over your head, and knowing who you can go to for guidance, and just being honest on, what, I'm not going to be able to take this, or I don't know the answer to this. All right, let's go figure it out. Let's see. It's always, what is the solution here?
Yeah. And I think, I've always said that, when to work, what time you have to step up and do something. Mm-hmm. And I think it goes back to our tie-in with our customers, because we know, like, oh, they're about to buy this house. That's a big life event. Yeah, I'm on a campground. I'm going to pull my computer out and do this, because how it affects them. It might not be the same with just a general email. So
yes, absolutely. I should start making a list of all of the random places that I've sent off pre-approval letters or scenarios, whether that's at the Michigan Renaissance Festival or at a campground or driving to a family event or in the parking lot of a wedding. Yep. But it's part of the job. Yeah. I love it. I know how important it is to our realtors and to our partners and to our buyers that in a crazy market like it has been for a while now, yeah, you need to have someone that you can rely on. Yeah. And that is what we are here for. I'm here for you on the Lake weeknights when, you found a house and offers are due at 9 p.m. and you need that letter, or on weekends when you have a couple of homes, but you're not sure if the taxes are going to be within your budget and you need to see that scenario. We're going to be there for you. because we want you to make those decisions, based off of what is going to work for your situation.
We want you to be comfortable going into that and confident in your decision.
Absolutely. We want you to be confident.
Well, I think this ties into this. The 300 milestone. In the past 5 years, the numbers are impressive. 300 families helped. What does that number feel like, and what's the common thread you see connecting all those families and their homeownership stories?
So when I had my 5-year anniversary, and I was kind of looking at all the numbers and calculating, how many families it was, I saw that number 300, and it didn't really feel real because I was like, oh my gosh, 300 people. But when I look back at it, it makes sense. And because there's so many people that we do work with, and that number, it really just kind of warms my heart that I've been able to help 300 people accomplish their homeownership goals. And I'm really proud of that number, and I can't wait to continue increasing that number. And when we talk about a common thread, though, so with working with 300 families, so that's 300 families that we have helped to get into a home. There has been countless more families as well of people that maybe weren't ready to buy yet, that maybe went in another direction. So that number is probably way higher on the number of people that we have actually worked with over the years. But one common theme that I always see, no matter if you are a first-time home buyer, a move-up home buyer, maybe you are around retirement and you're downsizing or buying your first investment property, is that there's always going to be a little bit of anxiety with it. And sometimes people feel wrong to feel that anxiety. Mm-hmm. When they feel that, they're like, oh, I feel so much, I don't know about this. I'm nervous about this. I don't know if this is the right decision. If you don't feel that anxiety or a little bit of nervousness when going into buying a purchase, then, good for you, but that is so normal. This is going to be one of the biggest purchases of your life, and it is so normal to feel that. And the solution to that is to get a fantastic team behind you to help take that anxiety away. And just knowing that, even if you did buy a house again, maybe it's going to be a new process with, utilizing a bridge loan now to tap into that equity to go to the second purchase. But there's always going to be something new coming up, whether it's the industry changing itself. But we are going to be here to help relieve that anxiety. But I think that it's just helpful to know for anyone going to purchase, it's okay if you feel nervous about it. That's why we're here. That's why we want to talk. That's why we want to get you pre-approved early, is to ease those anxieties.
And we tell a lot of our customers at the beginning, where Maddie and I can help you is helping get you the information and run things with each other, kind of discussing these issues before you get under contract. Mm-hmm. Once you're under contract, we have this incredible team of people that are so talented that will take you to the finish line. But our value is giving you the information and helping you, support you in these decision making, and you're not alone. We're here, that's our job, is to help you. So you can feel free to call us, at the beginning of the process. We have customers that'll call on other items, 3 years later. They'll just run things by us. Hey, what do you think about this? We love those kind of calls. This is where we can it allows us to sharpen our skills a little bit and help you. So feel free to share that anxiety with us. I tell a lot of people, I get compensated for this. Let me take on this burden for you. You should feel anxious, as long as you're making the right decision. Mm-hmm. Let us take the burden of the rest of this process.
You worry about the movers, getting your home packed or getting everything ready for the new home. Let us worry about the finances. Let us take that burden off of you. Yeah. And so, again, it's normal to feel that anxiety. It's not something that should be a warning sign of, maybe it's not the right time. That's a different gut feeling that if you should really talk that through with your realtor partner and us. And absolutely. But it should be an informed decision. It shouldn't just be going off your gut of, I don't know if this is right. Well, let's look at the numbers. Let's actually analyze this. When
we've had those people have had that, a regret or second thought of things, it's usually people that have just jumped into a purchase without viewing the market, without knowing the taxes, without seeing the numbers. That's been a common thread. No, now with these 300 people, they've also been throughout the whole country. You've assisted clients across 15 states, including big markets like Florida, Michigan, Arizona. How do you manage the complexity of lending in so many different jurisdictions? And what's the advantage for a client working with a lender who has such a broad reach?
I really credit a lot of it to our amazing company, to Dart Bank, because we have so many great relationships and so many great people that are able to educate on maybe some of the different guidelines or some of the different processes in a different state. Our team in particular also has so many great connections, especially in Florida. If you are having any questions about insurance or you really need a good realtor, we really love making those connections in those different states and having people being able to guide you. And I love being able to learn about it. If I don't know everything in that area, I am going to do my absolute best to research everything I can, reach out to all of our resources, reach out to everyone at the bank to be able to, provide all the information that you need still to make that purchase or make that decision in another state. When I was actually looking through and counting up that it was 15 states, that kind of blew my mind too, because you don't really think about it, because oftentimes it's not so much different than a purchase just in Michigan, but being able to help people, buy either a second home in a different state, that is just such a fun time in people's lives, and to be able to do that and being able to have the capability to be able to lend in different states.
And we haven't even mentioned the reverse side of how many people from different states have come here to work with us.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can think of, people from Germany, from France, from Canada, from pretty much every state in the union has to be pretty. And I think those stories in their relocation, it's such a special thing to be part of, like their move across the country and welcoming to that community. I know that you get a big kick out of that too.
Absolutely, because it's just another part of being able to ease someone's anxiety, that it's even more elevated when you're doing a cross-country move or trying to look at homes in a different state and, wanting to know, all right, what is different over here? How are the property taxes over here? What else should I be aware of? And that is really one of the fun parts. That's why another reason why this job is absolutely never boring.
It never
never. But it is so much fun. And I love that we are able to lend in so many different states. And so it is 15 so far. And I look forward to adding more states to that in the future.
When we go into, it's not just about buying a home. We have refinances, we do other things. You've supported 60 families, at least more than that, I'm sure now, into tapping their home equity for renovations or debt consolidation. Why is helping clients utilize their existing home equity such a rewarding part of your job?
I think it's something that people don't really realize how much they can utilize that equity and how much it can really help them. Sometimes people think, I got this equity, but it's just kind of sitting there. And there's so many different reasons and ways that you can use it that will help benefit you. I think some of the favorite memories that just come to mind is when I'm helping people look at debt consolidation. Consumer debt right now is at an all-time high. And so one way that we can help is looking at consolidating that, because typically if you have a lot of credit card debt with super high interest rates, if we look at consolidating that and paying it off and using either a home equity line of credit, maybe doing a cash out refinance, we can show you the analysis, show you how it improves your cash flow, and the relief that we see from people when we're able to put them in such a better position it's so rewarding, being able to see that, being able to provide those options and just showing people that it is possible. And it is a great way to, build that generational wealth and put yourself and your family into a better position.
And we really have helped people even keep their house and stay in their house by moving that debt consolidation around.
Absolutely. So even if, it's just, you need to know your options. And so having a trusted lender that you can come to be like, here's where I'm at. It's not great, but I just need some help. We are absolutely there to help guide you and point you in the right direction. Even if it's not maybe a refinance at this time, maybe we can help, see what we can do to get you there or to provide some guidance.
Well, now moving on to one of your natural born God-given gifts is the communication piece. You're just naturally excellent at it. You know, I recall one of the first times you started working on our team, I asked you to do a little presentation on a topic. And I don't even know if you knew you'd be talking to 100 agents at the time. And, you know, Maddie walked up there as if she's done it 1,000 times. And it was pretty impressive. But Real Take Real Estate, you've hosted 43 episodes of this show. You know, when did you realize that this was a need to not just do the work, but to talk about the work on this platform like this, as far as the education? What's your favorite part about hosting?
So I think that, you know, when we were talking about possibly doing this, it's really because of the lack of education that is available. And of course, we love to talk to our clients, and whenever anyone calls us, talk about all the topics that we have on Real Take Real Estate. But we wanted to be able to put it out there so that first, we know that people learn in different ways. Maybe you hear it from us, but you need to hear it again. So being able to send a podcast to someone so that they can hear about, all right, here's everything to know as a first-time home buyer. Here's everything to know as the closing process. Here's everything to know about home equity. Like, we have all of these that we can share. And so being able to put that education out there in a way that makes people easier to comprehend, I think is so important. And then my favorite part about hosting, I just love us being able to come up on here and share things that we talk about every day. But definitely recently, I love being able to bring some of our favorite realtor partners, some people that we work with very closely, hearing their stories and being able to share that as well. I think that is just so special to be able to do and to be able to have this platform to share that.
It's been really interesting having our guests on. You know, with the podcast and the YouTube channel reaching new subscribers every week, you know, how does being a public educator influence how you approach your day-to-day work with your customers, and how you bring some of this back into the business?
So I think that it changes it because I'm always looking for opportunities to educate. So not only continuously talking about the topics that we have made episodes about, but, you know, talking about it and then saying, actually, I also have a podcast on this that I'm going to send to you so that you can, you know, re-listen to that. So it's kind of changed in that regard, but I would definitely say that, you know, having this podcast that its goal is to educate has just changed my mind frame, that now I'm always looking for opportunities to educate, no matter if it's with a call with my own family and my brothers or with family and friends. You know, when they start talking about things and I'm like, oh, so you're talking about buying a home for your first time. So tell me more. What are we looking at? And so it's made me really want to continue to educate and to continue to talk about home ownership and the obstacles and how people can, you know, become successful homeowners, because there are just so many misconceptions that are continually out there when I talk to everyone. And I just want to combat that, because I think that everyone deserves to be a homeowner if you want to. And if your only obstacle is from one of the misconceptions that we talk about, because you think you need to have 20%, because you think that you need to, you know, have everything figured out in your life and you need to have perfect credit, we're here to tell you that you don't. And so I think that has just changed, that I'm always looking for those opportunities to educate and to help combat those
misconceptions. And it changes what you're looking at. You know, you're always looking at, you broaden your horizons of having to research yourself and educate yourself. And even every day you're thinking, oh, that could be a good podcast topic.
When we keep getting questions on the same thing, I'm like, you know what? I think we need to do an episode on that. Let me write that down right now, because I would love to do that, because obviously it's something that, you know, people have questions about. So yes, absolutely.
And speaking horizons, 5-year horizon, looking forward, you know, what's the big goal? What does the next chapter look like for you personally, professionally, in mortgage banking? What kind of families or goals are you hoping to tackle next?
That's a very big question.
That is a big question. It's a pretty good good ending question.
Yes, it is. So when looking into the future, especially in the mortgage industry, we have no idea where it's going to go. But all I know is that I want to continue to help people achieve their homeownership goals. Right now I absolutely have a passion for working with first-time home buyers, easing their anxiety. I would love to continue to do that. Coming up soon in the future, we are also going to be bringing on my brother Jake onto the team. So I'm super excited not only to have family joining us, but to also teach someone else and educate them on how they can continue to educate future homeowners. So that is going to be exciting as we grow our team. And I'm really excited to see where our team goes. Since I've been on the team, we have continually expanded, and just to make sure that we have all the right people in the right places to help our clients have first the best experience possible, and that we have all of the resources and people needed to just provide the information needed, and just be there to help and provide the best experience. So looking forward, I'm not actually sure. I know it's going to be on the Joseph team. I know that we are going to continue spreading knowledge and about home ownership and continually helping people. And we'll see what happens in the mortgage world. Things are continually changing and we can't predict what's going to happen. I would like to put out there that I would love for lower rates. Let's just say that. I'd love if we could have some lower rates and some movement in the future. But as far as maybe some goals, I would love to continue helping people out in different states. That would be really cool to continue broadening that. But then just, helping people realize all the products out there that are available to them.
Yeah, that's great. If you could give one piece of advice to a first-time home buyer who is feeling overwhelmed by the mortgage process right now, what is the real estate secret to success?
I think if we go back into our episodes and count how many times I've said you need to have a solid team backing you up, it would probably be in the hundreds or something by now with 43 episodes out. It is so, so important that you have a solid realtor backing you up that knows your goals, that knows exactly what you want, and is going to do everything that they can to get you into the home that you need, and knows how to negotiate, and to also have a lender. And, a lender that cares, a lender, maybe the Joseph team. But just getting pre-approved early as well, but just having your team established that is going to be there for you in the times that you need that, whether it's going to be weeknights or weekends, but just having a solid team is so important because that team is going to be the one that takes the anxiety away. They're going to be the ones that will help guide you and ease that anxiety and help you make the right decision that is going to help you become a successful homeowner.
Yeah, well, thank you, Maddie. Thanks for being a guest today. Thank you for being an integral part of the Joseph team and helping all our customers and having that high integrity approach. And working with you has been one of the highlights of my career, as mentoring and being able to help with you and Michael and Sam. We have a lot of fun. We really do.
We do, and we will continue to in the future. It's going to be awesome.
Well, this wraps up our latest episode of Real Take Real Estate. Please like us, share, subscribe. Anything else, Maddie? I don't close usually.
We'll catch you next time. Thank you.
Thanks so much.